novices are always divisions that it's very important to be strong in. So for us, it's nice to have some 4-year-olds, and there's plenty of them there with hopefully big enough futures that are not just it's not just a flash in the pan.
Our visit to Joseph O'Brien, a day in the life of a trainer, that features later on in our programme. First, though, we'll rejoin Tracy, who's talking to Gordon Elliott.
Well, I'm joined here by the man of the moment, Gordon Elliott, of course, after that fantastic win by Appleshade yesterday. But before we go on to that, Gordon, I just want to give you a few stats. Did you realise that you have now won 48 Grade 1s and 2 more to go? You could win 2 today, it could be 50, which is an incredible achievement.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I knew I had 40 something alright, but this is a nice problem to have.
It's absolutely amazing, you know, having started from scratch. Do you remember your first Grade 1?
Jesse's Dream won the Drinmore. Timmy Murphy,
2010, which is amazing to tot up that amount. But just looking at yesterday, watching Commander of Fleet win that race, again, I know how important staff are to you. It was great to get that 50 grand bonus for the staff, wasn't it?
Yeah, it'd be a nice touch if you could go on now and win in Cheltenham for the yard. But he's a nice horse and he's improving the whole time.
I know you're absolutely delighted with Appleshade, and we'll talk about your decision in just a second. But Georgie Benson, who looks after Appleshade, very special part of the team, and she had a point-to-point winner recently.
That's right. She rode a winner last Saturday up the north. So listen, Georgie's a big part of the yard. She's around the place, and she's 12 or 13 years of age, and it's nice to be able to give her a winner. So we'll try and get her a few more rides. She's not a bad little rider now. She'll be okay.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, you know, we're coming down from the high of seeing such an amazing mare yesterday, and I'm sure you're still on that high. I couldn't get hold of you. Everybody was pulling out of you. But tell me about how the decision came about to go for the champion.
Well, obviously it's not on concrete yet, but we're definitely giving it a lot more thought. Look, she got bet in Cheltenham last year in the Mayor's Hurdle, and I'd probably prefer to get bet in the Champion Hurdle than I would in the Mayor's Hurdle. So I suppose if she's ever going to take her chance, this is the year. So it'll be discussed a lot more between now and then with Michael and Eddie. But look, if I probably had my way, I'd give her a go at it.
We just can't wait to see her. It's going to be fantastic. Now, today, a very busy day. You've got a couple in this one, but also, interestingly, Vision d'Honneur meeting Alexa Dene again in the Grade 1 hurdle. It's
a good race. I think my horse has improved, but he'd have to improve again to win it.
Could get those 2 Grade 1s today. Listen, great success so far. Continued. You're amazing.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Gordon. Thanks.
Oh, good stuff. The Champion Hurdle it'll be. The Champion Hurdle it has to be. Appleshade. I thought she was absolutely magnificent. What did you think of her, Jane, yesterday?
I actually watched it from the stands, and it's never happened. I've seen a lot of good horses down through the years, but I was in the heart of the stands, in the middle of the crowd, and it was so clear from the home turn that she was going to win that a furlong out, the stands erupted into applause. Like, that never happens.
Ted, there are some animals, very, very few, but they have the opposition covered everywhere. I mean, literally all the way.
Yeah, there's no weak link in her. I mean, she jumps out, she goes a real good gallop, she has the pace for 2 miles, you know she stays, she jumps like a buck, she handles every ground, left or right. I mean, there's just no flaw in her armour, unless she's unlucky someday. And that's what it'll be, unlucky, or for some reason she has an off day. But other than that, she's one of the real stars.
She your pick for the Champion Hurdle if she lines up?
She is, yeah. I would think. I would think. It won't be as easy now. It won't be as clear cut as that. She's a great mare, and she handles that. She's Cheltenham last year. She was vulnerable. A lot of horses take her on. It won't be black and white. I would hate to be. I'd love to own her, and I'd love to be riding her if I was a jockey. I think she's the one they all have to beat. But it's not black and white. It never is.
We love mares.
We do, we love mares, and we have a good mare on show today in Lebago Wa, so hopefully she'll keep up the good run.
Yeah, exactly. Great stuff. There they are down at the start for our opener, and what a good opener it is. Wow. They are really good. Let's check the market now on our first race.
Yes, Sir Erec is your market leader at 7-4, but strong in opposition is Tiger Tap Tap. There was only a whisker between him at Christmas. Gardens of Babylon, he's also strong in the market each way, 7-1 into 5-1, and at 7-1 bar the authorised filly. This is a really good contest. Sir Erec, Tiger Tap Tap, 7-1 and 9-1 respectively for the Triumph Hurdle. We will know more very shortly.
It's a good race. Sir Erec is a worthy favourite. He's had one run over hurdles, and it was a winning run when he beat Tiger Tap Tap. The question is, who improves most from that? But when you look back in Sir Eric's form, you see that he was only beaten 2.5 lengths by Stradivarius on the flat in the Stayers.
That's it, they're off and racing, and as they make their way towards the turn into the straight, and thankfully we will be jumping the flight in the straight in all races this afternoon. The one that takes them in is Sir Erec, who leads from Surin racing in second, and they're being followed by Tiger Tap Tap. Just behind them goes Gardens of Babylon. Chief Justice is next, now the mount of Davy Russell. Towards the inside is Got Trumped, and last of all is Parisian. So they make their way on now to go towards flight number 1. Up front, Surin just jumped a little off to his left there, and with the advantage as they go up to pass the post, Sir Erec, Mark Walsh, big day yesterday, double, being followed in second by Surin, and Jack Kennedy, he too had a big day yesterday. Back in third is Tiger Tap Tap, Ruby Walsh, successful aboard Min yesterday, and behind these was Gardens of Babylon and Barry Geraghty, double across the water. Just behind them is Chief Justice, Davy Russell aboard, then Parisian, who's next under Philip Enright, and last of all is Got Trumped, the mount of Robert Power. So they take the elbow towards the far side of the straight, none towards flights 2 and 3. And out in front it is Sir Erec, who's going to lead them over, flicks the top bar, being jazzed in fact back and forth, does Gardens of Babylon in the same colours. But it's Sir Erec, a winner here at Christmas when just beating Tiger Tap Tap in the distinctive big white face. They go toe to toe again. Surin is just up on the outside of Tiger Tap Tap, and behind Surin is Gardens of Babylon. Surin and Gardens of Babylon have gone head to head twice. It's one apiece. Behind these towards the inside is Chief Justice, who was second here at Christmas. Towards the outside is Parisian, and they're being followed at the back of the field by Got Trumped, who was third behind Chief Justice. So a lot of intercrossing lines of form going into this race as they make their way into the back straight. Line of 3 ahead of them, Sir Erec leads them down from Surin racing in second. Tiger Tap Tap is third towards the inside, and they're being followed in fourth by Gardens of Babylon. Just behind them towards the inside is Chief Justice, and then just towards this one's outside is Parisian, and Got Trumped is last of all. So now they go towards the first of 3 along the back, when Sir Erec leads them over, jumps it well, this son of Camelot, being chased in second spot by Surin, and they're being followed towards the inside by Tiger Tap Tap. Just behind them is another son of Camelot. This one is Gardens of Babylon, and they're being followed towards the inside by Chief Justice. The acclamation Parisian is next, and towards the back of the field is Got Trump. So now they go towards the middle one along the back straight. Sir Erec going to lead them over from Surin. Tiger Tap Tap. Gardens of Babylon jumping just not as fluent as the 3 ahead of him, but no notable mistake just yet. Chief Justice is towards his inside, Parisi on the outside, and Got Trumped is last of all. So now they go towards 3 flights from home. Plenty of racing to do. Sir Erec going to lead them over, pretty slick over that one. Again, Gardens of Babylon was the one that, if anything, lost a half a length or so as they race now towards the bend that'll bring them out of the back straight. And Sir Erec just beginning to put a few of these out of their comfort zone as he rolls along off the front under Mark Walsh. Surin still goes well for Jack Kennedy. Tiger Tap Tap is just towards the inside under Ruby Walsh. Chief Justice moves to try to get onto their tails, being followed by Gardens of Babylon. Just behind them is Parisian, and the back marker is Got Trump. Now they make their way across towards the second last, and it's Sir Erec from Surin racing in second. Towards the inside, Tiger Tap Tap as they land over that one. Slightly flattening the flight was Chief Justice. Gardens of Babylon has asked for his effort now. They begin to make their way on the turn towards home, and it's Sir Erec who's going to lead them in. He's led them since flagfall. Towards the inside is Tiger Tap Tap. Jack Kennedy's going to make sure that's where he stays on Surin. He's keeping Ruby Walsh tight. Good race riding there. Chief Justice has asked for his effort. Gardens of Babylon is trying to come through on the outside, but in front it is still Sir Erec. Tiger Tap Tap, still no room. Jack Kennedy keeping Ruby very tight down the outside. Gardens of Babylon, but Sir Erec to the final flight. Now there's room for Tiger Tap Tap, but is there time? Because Sir Erec has skipped clear. He skipped clear by 3. Surin is second. Tiger Tap Tap toward the inside. Gardens of Babylon on the near side. Big performance here from the Juvenile. It's Sir Erec who wins and wins well. Back in second is Gardens of Babylon. In third goes to Surin. Tiger Tap Tap is 4. Chief Justice was 5, and they were followed in by the final finisher, Got Trumped. Well, we had a lot of 4-year-olds there who were trying to put their reputation on the line, but Sir Erec jumped out, made all, jumped well, and although there was a little bit of race riding which will be interesting to review on the home straight, this horse won very much on merit, and he's our leading Juvenile after this weekend.
Oh, didn't you love the way he did it? He was well on top. Marvellous.
Very good performance, wasn't it? Mark just built the speed up as he went around. He didn't start off too strong, but coming into the home straight, it was clear that a lot of them were under pressure. But he really didn't press the button until he landed off the back of the last, and all of a sudden there was 5 lengths between him and Surin and Tiger Tap Tap. I thought when Joseph O'Brien sent Fakir de Derry's to Cheltenham last week that he was keeping this guy for Leopardstown, and this guy I think is better. So I think Ireland has the winner of the Triumph Hurdle, and I think we've just seen him.
Yeah, he was very good. His jumping was the great thing about him. Pricks his ears going to the last. He's quick at this again. Tiger Tap Tap doesn't jump well enough, and he gets run out of it up along the straight. The winner really improved from Christmas. There was only a neck between him at Christmas. There's 5 or 6 lengths between him here. He's going the right way. A son of Camelot's. What a lovely horse he is. Be interesting to see now if he went on and won a Triumph Hurl. He's still a colt. Would he end up being a stallion down in Grange or somewhere? Because he's a great, big, good-looking horse as well too. There's nothing small about him in any step of the way. I'd say he's the real deal.
That's an interesting thought, Ted, and certainly the way the French are performing, it's about time we followed suit with a performance like that. This horse, he jumps beautifully, doesn't he? And he's 2 for 2 now. Go on to the Triumph Hurdle, and he must be a warm favourite, I'd have thought, for that now.
But all the jumpers, like Fortria, who was one of the hallmarks of Grange, he won a Cheltenham Gold Cup, and Vulcan won over Hurls and all them good
Deep
horses.
Run, yeah. And Ted, you know how to win Triumph Hurdles. You need to stay, don't you?
You have to stay. You have to have a bit of class as well too, but you have to stay. If you don't stay, you won't win the Triumph, and there's nothing about this fella that says he doesn't stay. And his stable companion was very impressive at Cheltenham there, in the Cheltenham Trial Hurl as well too. Joseph has a huge strong hand. As Jane says, whatever happens, I'd say it's coming home to Ireland anyway.
Jane,
you could have a bet now for Ireland to win it.
Oh yeah, he's a big imposing horse. He's not a horse that typically comes off the flat, loads of bone and plenty of scope about him. But you know, when you have the class of a horse that's able to run third to Stradivarius at Ascot, you know, it's rare that they go jumping. It's often that horse could be kept on to go for an Ascot Gold Cup or something the following year. But they've opted to come this route, and they're going to be rewarded because he's all class. He's taken to hurdling like a pure natural. And Joseph, as Ted said, has a really strong hand with the juveniles this year, and Gardens of Babylon stayed on the best of the rest for second, but there really was no contest for the winner. He didn't see another horse from Flagfall and didn't put a foot wrong.
He's got Canetho and he's got Fahad Duduray and others as well. Gardens of Babylon, interestingly, is also by Camelot, the runner-up here.
Those Monju horses are tough. They're versatile. They can do whatever you want them to do, and they're very willing. So that's a couple of ingredients that you need for jumping. And
Hurricane Fly's Monju, was he?
Hurricane Fly, so many more of them, and of course he got Hurricane Run on to win an Arc. If you have talent, a good stallion will get you whatever you want.
But I tell you what, I went down to Coolmore on the Stallion Trail. What a success that was. They had a massive amount of people, as you can imagine, and I thought Camelot was just marvellous. Lovely, lovely looking horse. Here's Sally Ann.
Joined now by winning jockey Mark Walsh. Mark, that looked fairly easy going around there. He was very impressive in his jumping and his way on the flat to win.
Yeah, he had to do it the hard way. No one wanted to go on, so this had stays well in the flat, so I says I wasn't going to let it turn into a sprint. A bit sore the first few, but once he got into a rhythm, he was very good, and he quickened away out up the straight and done it well.
He was a very talented flat horse, and now he's proving himself over hurdles as well, and a leading contender now going into the Triumph Hurdle.
Yeah, hopefully now he'll go to Cheltenham now, hopefully after that, once he gets there in one piece, and we're looking forward to him.
He's a nice one to look forward to. Well done, Mark.
Thank you.
Did you get the non-runner there by any chance? No?
Sorry?
The non-runner in the third.
Number 2.
He's coming back in, this son of Camelot, 2 for 2 now, and as Jane reminded us, he gave Stradivarius something to think about on British Champion Stayers, British Champion Stayers race in October. So he's got bags of quality, he's bred to be good, loves the jumping, and what's going to beat him at Cheltenham? They've got to have a good one across the water to worry this fella, I feel. And what a guy Mark is now. I mean, what a wonderful rider. Here's his page, Jane.
Yeah, this is an interesting page course. He's Camelot out of a Galileo mare, so he's 3 by 3 to Sadler's Wells. You've got a wonderful top line and bottom line. He's a rainbow goddess. He's got a very good pedigree for the Mr. Magner bred him himself, I think. So look, the thing with Monju is he is the sire of Walk in the Park, Jukebox Jury. He's a massive influence on the jumping side, but he's of such class that he can get it either or. So I'd imagine if Joseph in the morning wanted to go for one of those long distance cup races on the flat, he could. Extremely versatile horses and sound of mind and body.
I'd say, well, he's in JP's colours anyway. He won't ever run long distance flat races. He's a jumping man to the core.
Yeah, but they're good pals, so they'll do what's best, and there'll be a little bit of commercialism in there as well. I think he's a very, very interesting horse to go to stud him. If he is good enough, he'd be He'd be a proper one, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it's actually Pat Tobin down in Tipperary bred him. My apologies. Pat is actually after breeding a good couple of horses himself, so apologies, Pat. You have a good one here.
The jumping game, it's wonderful, isn't it? And hurdles turn some on and others just aren't quite as good. I thought Willie's horse was a little disappointing. He'd given this horse plenty to do when they met on their only occasion, but he was well behind today.
He was very, very tame from the back of the last.
Just looking at Erec leaving the winner's enclosure here, he's an absolutely beautiful looking animal, a real picture of a horse, full of class. You must have been delighted with that one.
Yeah, over the moon, Tracy.
2 from 2, he's something else, isn't he?
Yeah, he jumped well today. Obviously, making the running wasn't absolutely ideal, but he's very uncomplicated. So Mark gave him a lovely ride, and he got him in a great rhythm. And he said that when the horse heard the horses behind him going to the second last, he jumped on the bridle, and he knew from there he was in good shape.
Yeah, never looked in doubt at all. And he's just such a lovely, big, strong horse. He seems to love its racing.
Yeah, big, uncomplicated fella. No, he's a pleasure to have in the yard, and he's hugely exciting.
Yeah, hugely exciting. And obviously, all roads lead now to the Triumph Hurdle.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Obviously, he's 2 out of 2. You'd love a little bit more experience, but I mean, I think it'd probably make sense to go straight there.
JP's having a great couple of days.
Yeah, fantastic few days, and JP is a wonderful supporter of Irish racing on the whole, and I suppose racing in all over the place, and couldn't be happier to have a couple of winners here for him.
Fantastic. Just a word on Ed Wolf. We're not going to see him today.
No, listen, the ground is as good as he'd wanted. I mean, it's nobody's fault. We've had an extraordinary weather over the last few weeks, and it is what it is, but we'll save him for another day.
Here. Thanks very much. Well done. Thank you.
Oh yes, great atmosphere here at the Dublin Racing Festival. We saw a spectacular performance from Sir Erec by Camelot, of course, the Galileo mare bred by Pat Tobin down in Court McSherry, of course, who also bred Wichita Lineman and Rhinestone Cowboy. So that West Cork Air working a treat. I think he bought that mare. And of course, the great pedigree as well, as Jane alluded to, the dam, a full sister to Mahler, who's a top sire down with Bobby McCarthy, the Beaches stud, standing next to Flemingford. That was impressive, Sir Erec. It was a case of goodbye starter, hello judge for the son of Camelot, who was sent off favourite, and of course now the bookmaker reaction, Unibet, who sponsor our big race today, the Gold Cup, they've slashed him into 5-2 favourite from 6 and 7 to 1 for the Triumph Hurdle. But he's certainly future in front of Sir Erec as we look forward to the rest of the day. But before that, I believe we could have competition time.